All right, so we've got a lot of people on this call. It's so great to see everybody. I see Ray Haddon. We haven't seen him in a while, which is great to see him, and Brian and Albert and Stanley and Brandon just jumped on, and Abby and Nick and Brian and Kimberly and Aaron and Jake and Christy and Dan, and everybody's here. So this is great.
I know we missed you last week.
Sapna is our guest speaker, so we're so thrilled to have her. And I am going to ask Natasha to do the introduction, and I'm going to ask all you guys to put yourself on mute for a little bit, and then we're going to have Sapna speak to us, and then we are going to ask her some questions after that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So if everybody could put yourself in mute except for Sapna, Natasha, we're going to have Natasha do the intro. Take it away, Natasha.
So, good evening. My name is Natasha Cole. I'm a health leader and also a global messenger.
Fine, I'm going in the lobby.
Sapna Raghavan served as Miss Connecticut 2021, traveling the state and the country to promote her platform of embracing diversity, overcoming adversities. She previously held the title of Miss Connecticut's Outstanding Teen, the Small Sister program for Miss America organization. She now works full-time as a management consultant. Welcome, yay!
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Natasha. That is probably the best introduction I have ever had. I've had a lot of introductions, so great job. That was awesome. And you pronounced my name right. So like really, you could not have done better. Well, I'm so excited to be with all of you tonight. I am a big Special Olympics fan. I had chatted with Debbie about this many years ago, actually, when I was the teen. I had the opportunity to go to the Dream Ride event, which maybe some of you might have been to before. And I got to meet some people from Special Olympics. It was so much fun. And I just love what your organization is all about. And I don't know how I can talk to you all about diversity when you know so much more about it than me. So I can't wait to chat with you all and learn more about your backgrounds as well. So can't wait to talk with you all.
So what time's your Zoom meeting?
I think what we'll do is we'll start with a little bit of background about me, and then at the end, like I mentioned, we'll do a Q&A. So I can't wait. But just to give you a quick introduction, I served as Miss Connecticut back in 2021. So I actually just gave up in my title in April. So there's now a new Miss Connecticut who I'm going to try to get in with you guys as well. And I was Miss Connecticut for a whole year. But there's a whole lot of backstory as to how I got into pageants, and you may have seen Miss Congeniality or one of those movies, and believe it or not, it's very similar to that. So I can't wait to tell you all about that. But now I work full-time in consulting. I work from home still, so I'm still here in Ellington, Connecticut. Have yet to make my move to Boston, where I actually should be, but we'll see if that happens later this year. But yeah, I'm still very involved with the Miss America organization. I'm a volunteer. I love speaking on behalf of that organization because it gave me so much. And, you know, I can't say enough good things about getting involved in it when I did. So let's talk a little bit about the journey to Miss America. I can't believe I got to represent our state at the 100th Miss America competition in December and meet girls from all over the country. And it was such an amazing pinch me moment. And I felt so excited to be able to say, you know, I'm Miss Connecticut. So back 7 years ago now, I knew nothing about pageants, which maybe some of you feel the same way. Knew nothing about it, was not involved in it, didn't do any pageantry things. I was a very quiet girl who didn't talk to a lot of people and didn't really ever think of myself as a leader. And one day I decided I got to do something to get into college. I have nothing on my application. This is horrible. And I found out that there was a local pageant in my town called Miss Greater Rockville's Outstanding Teen. And I was like, you know what, local, how many people are going to compete? There was only 5. I'll give it a shot. I knew nothing about how the Miss America organization was connected to this, what the journey was going to be following. So I signed up and I was terrified. I came up with my talent in my basement the night before the competition. We got a prom dress from a consignment store and I went and did the competition and I won. So it was very exciting, made for a great essay, and I loved it. But I thought that, I mean, that's it. I'm not going to do this anymore. What was surprising was I found out that, oh my God, this is a huge thing. And so I got into Miss America's Outstanding Teen after winning. I followed the local competition with a state competition. I won Miss Connecticut's Outstanding Teen. And then I went to Miss America's Outstanding Teen. And I was like, wow, this is a world that I did not know existed. I didn't know about, taping your gowns up and wearing high heels and all of those things that I had never done before. But the most special part of being Miss Connecticut's Outstanding Teen was getting to go across the state and talk about something I was passionate about, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, which we're going to talk about a little later today as well. It was so special to be able to go to so many different events and talk to so many organizations and really find my own voice. A lot of you might feel the same way. It takes one person, one mentor to make you realize that you can really do whatever you set your mind to. And when I was Miss Connecticut's Outstanding Teen, my Miss Connecticut was that mentor for me. And Natasha, you asked me a great question in the chat. What could I explain what embracing diversity is? You read my mind, girl, because I'm about to do it. So embracing diversity actually came from my personal experiences being an Indian American girl. I always felt, especially in Ellington, that I was the only colored woman in a room all the time. I mentioned that you said my name correctly, and that was so special to me because there's a lot of people who wouldn't, I mean, they wouldn't even try. I was so different from everybody around me. And I think some of you might understand that feeling. It's really sad sometimes that you feel like you can't speak your mind or you can't voice your opinion because you're different from the people around you. So embracing diversity was my personal platform that I got to promote throughout the year. So every girl who competes in the Miss America organization, whether you're a local, you're a state title holder, or you're a national title holder, every single person, sorry, my house phone is going off. Every single person gets to promote a personal platform of their choice and advocate throughout the year for it. So actually later on, I'll show you some pictures. Our current Miss America's platform is Special Olympics. So she's been at your National Special Olympics events all these past couple of weeks. She goes to different Special Olympics groups across the country and promotes how important it is to, accept each other and live an inclusive life. So that was my platform and it followed me as I became a Miss. So now flash forward, right? I do this whole thing. I go to this competition. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm exposed to this whole world. And then I said, I'm done with this. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to mind my own business, live my life. Miss America was a great memory. But actually, like many of you maybe, during the pandemic, I realized I was really bored. And nothing to do with my time and nothing to, entertain myself. So I thought, why not give this a try again? Can I still do that? So I went and competed for Miss Connecticut in 2021. And lo and behold, somehow I win again on my first try. So it kind of is a similar thing to what happened 7 years ago that I was like, oh my God, I didn't think this was going to happen. And I got to figure this all out, but still promoted embracing diversity throughout the year and probably was the most special time of my life, getting to promote it and getting to talk to groups like yourselves today. It's just so special to me. So that's a whole lot of me talking. And I wanted to show you guys a very special thing here, which is the crown. Unfortunately, we are not in person for me to let you each wear it, or I totally would. But a lot of people always asked how this fits on your head. There's actually some wires inside, and it's really not that special. You just clip it in. People are always like, how does it sit on your head? That is how. So unfortunately, can't let you all wear this, but if I ever see you in person, I will totally whip it out so you can put it on. And I'm seeing questions come in. So if you want to keep asking questions, feel free. But yeah, I think a really special obstacle to share that I had to overcome, which is a big part of this, was, I had this platform where I get to talk about diversity throughout my year, but then I realized, being this title holder and promoting diversity, that comes with its own level of challenges. And even as Miss Connecticut, there were a lot of times that people made comments, or I faced some negative comments from other people online. There was a lot of moments where I wondered, like, is this even worth it? Why am I even talking about this? What's the point? And actually, it's funny because it's a full circle moment for me. When I see this, when I'm walking around in my house and I see it sitting there, I remember, it doesn't matter if one person doesn't like what you have to say. There's always going to be one person out there who's listening to you. And so I want to make sure that you all take that with you. I mean, I know you're all incredible leaders, but remember that it doesn't matter if one person isn't with you. There's always going to be someone out there who is with you. So with that, let me answer another couple questions. Kimberly, you have great questions coming in. I'm really pretty impressed. What was the best part of becoming Miss Connecticut? Well, aside from the platform and being able to talk about something I'm super passionate about, probably the dresses, you guys. There is a lot of perks that come with it that I think, you've seen in the movies and stuff. So wearing all the beautiful dresses and feeling a little bit like, I will never probably do that again in my life. So that was definitely a very special experience. And picking out that Miss America gown was very special as well. So what made me decide to do this? Like I said, kind of fell into it. And I think another big piece of why I came back to compete as an adult was feeling like, can I prove to myself that I actually accomplished this? Maybe some of you felt this way before as well, but when you accomplish a goal, sometimes it feels like that accomplishment wasn't worth anything, or that you fell into it in a lucky day or a lucky moment. And I did that for 6 years. After I was Miss Connecticut Outstanding Teen, I kind of told myself, it just happened, lucky day, good for you, Sapna, keep it moving. But competing as a Miss, it was kind of reassuring myself, no, you worked hard, you got there, you accomplished it, you can do it again. And I think that's often a trap that a lot of us fall into, right? Just feeling like your accomplishment wasn't credible, wasn't enough. So that was a big part of it as well. I do want to show you guys some pictures, because I think that will be important so you can see, the whole journey. So let me share my screen. But before I do that, Kimberly, Natasha, you've had your hand up for a while. Do you want to ask me a question, and then I'll show pictures?
So, in the chat, how do you become a, let me put my chat up. Okay. Okay. What is management consultant in your work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I get this question a lot. I think it's an up and coming field. So consulting, basically, we work with all these different companies. And when a company feels like they need some help with whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's their strategy or, I don't know, their like financial work, or, insert issue here, whatever issue that is, they invite consultants in to come and help save the day and help the situation out. So I work for a consulting company. So all these different other companies hire us to fix their problem, and then we're out of there. So it is kind of nice because every couple months I'm on a new project. There's a new problem to solve. But, at the same time, it is a full-time job, and being Miss Connecticut was also a full-time job, something I probably didn't realize. And, juggling the two of them, it was very funny. There were a lot of times I would be driving to an event and my mom would be driving. I'd be on my computer, putting on my makeup in the car and in the seat next to her. So it was very special in that way. But yeah, definitely a full-time job alongside another one. That was a great question.
You.
Yeah, no problem. Let me bring up these pictures, and I think that'll help tell the story a little bit more. So can you all see this? Yes. Okay. So this was actually from the Miss Connecticut competition last year. And, you know, this was when we came out for our evening gown. It's kind of special because I remember when I came out in that gown, when I was going to find it, I probably tried on like thousands and thousands and thousands of dresses, but the first dress that I tried on is the one I ended up buying. And I feel like that happens to a lot of us, right? You end up finding the first one is there's something there that you forget, but yeah, so that was very special. And then this is the next part of the competition. So evening gown is one part. There's the social impact pitch, which is what I'm doing on the left-hand side. So you get to give a TED talk about your platform of choice and basically convince the audience and the judges that your cause is the most important cause, which is my favorite part. Being a consultant, a lot of the time I get to give these little pitches. So I found that this was my favorite piece of the whole competition. Then you have onstage question, which is what I was doing on the right-hand side. And you know, you get a question or two about a current event going on in the country. I know some of you nodded when you heard Miss Congeniality, so I'm sure you know about the onstage question part um, of a pageant. So that was very cool. And then we also have a talent portion. So I actually did an Indian classical dance, which is something I've learned my whole life. You actually probably can see some Indian decorations around my house. They're always there. It's a very big part of who I am. So I actually learned Indian classical dance for I think 12, 13 years. So that was very special to share with everybody as well. So after winning, these are actually a lot of former Miss Connecticut's up here. You might recognize Alyssa Taglia in the white dress right here. She's on ABC News 8. Unfortunately, Heidi did not get to make it into this picture. She was not available that day, but I heard Heidi Voigt just spoke with you all a couple weeks ago. She's also a former Miss Connecticut, so that's pretty cool as well. Yes, I see, Aaron, I see you losing it over there about that. I know, pretty cool, right? So yeah, our former Miss Connecticut before me, actually, so just to give you an idea, my platform was diversity, her platform was cancer awareness. And she's actually a cancer survivor, so that's pretty cool, right? So everybody in this picture has advocated for something different, which I think is really cool. All right, so this is a couple pictures from the events I had all through the year. And I just wanted to show you because I think it's really cool that this is a big part of being a title holder, which I think a lot of us forget. That's when I met my misconceptions. I always thought being a pageant girl meant, you know, you did the competition and you were done, right? But you do the whole year going to different events across the state. I went to towns I didn't even know existed. And it was really, really fun and really special to make a difference in our communities. So here's just a couple pictures of that. And here's a couple more. Probably my favorite of all of the events was the top right with my ice cream. We got to make sundaes at an ice cream bar, which was really cool. Okay, so this is the really fun part, right? Miss America. Part of Miss America is actually this parade called Show Me Your Shoes, where you get to design a heeled shoe. So somebody asked me in the chat, do I prefer heels or flats? Definitely flats. Believe it or not, I'm 5 feet and I love being short. So if any of you are short, own that shortness. But you get to design a heeled shoe and it needs to reflect your state. So we have had so many different shoes over the years, so many different shoes. We've had girls who do Barnum and Bailey's Circus. So the shoe is like a pony. Alyssa did Yankee Doodle. So there was that. There's been so many different crazy ones. I mean, there's been a robin's egg nest. So I did the Hartford Current, which was fun. And I had a lot of help from a lot of different people to make that shoe and to make the little costume. So that was really awesome to be able to showcase Connecticut. And believe it or not, this year Miss America was actually in Connecticut. It was at Mohegan Sun. So we got to do this parade there. Before I keep going, Daniel, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
When I remember at last year OFM dinner, I met them before, and I met 2 and 3 of Miss Congeniality ladies, and I met them.
Oh, that's
And-
awesome.
And it was me and Bo there. It
That's
was me
awesome.
and Bo over there, and we met them before, and it reminds me of, it's called Kantara.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yes,
I find a lot of times that they're more often than not, people have been exposed to this in some way. Maybe you saw somebody who is in a pageant like at a fair or something, but you know, it all stems back to this, right? So that's awesome.
yes, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Yeah, so this was the Show Me Your Shoes parade. So basically while you go on the parade, everybody outside says, "Show me your shoes," and you kick your leg up and get to show it off. I personally can't kick my leg up, so I was holding it like this, but it was quite a lot of fun. So these are photos actually from the Miss America competition back in December, which was so cool. So you can see on the right, my Indian classical dance talent. And this was actually on the left, my social impact pitch from Miss America. So I got to wear a very cool, snazzy red outfit. But yeah, that was amazing. Especially very special to be at Mohegan Sun because I didn't have to travel very much. I got to bring all the bags that I wanted, as opposed to girls like Miss Hawaii who had to pack it all into a suitcase. So definitely fun. Yeah, and here is the evening gown I got to wear at Miss America. So that blue, beautiful gown. Same thing as what happened when I was going to States. The first gown I picked out was the gown I ended up picking, but then I wasted like 6 hours trying on thousands of others. So I guess sometimes just trust your gut. But yeah. Yes, and here is our Miss America, the one that I was mentioning to you all, who advocates for Special Olympics. So you might have seen her on some things, and I hope that you guys end up seeing her at some point throughout your year as well. But I think that's it. Yeah, so those are all my pictures. And I do have a fun diversity exercise for us as well, but maybe we take some questions before we go forward. I'm going to take some from the chat, and then I'll answer a couple live. So during the interview stage, how long does it take you to answer the questions? This is a great question. It's actually a 9-minute interview, and it's like press conference style. So each person is asking you a question. And if they don't, if you ramble a little too long, they cut you right off. So that's like something I didn't expect. I remember being like, oh, I didn't think you were going to do that. So that's a really cool part of it. And I think that's a really important part of it too, is that a lot of people think, you just have these 4 things on stage and that's it. But the interview is actually the most important piece of your score. And it's very hard. I spent like several months practicing for it. So who is my role model? I don't want to say my mom because I think everybody's role model is probably their mom. But aside from my mom, my role model is my dance teachers, actually. I have 2 dance teachers in India. So every 6 months since I was a little girl, we used to fly there for me to learn, which was a crazy experience and definitely an investment that I'm thankful to my parents for making. But we used to travel every 6 months, and it was so special. And I learned a lot about being a leader from her and from them. So that was awesome. Is this crown yours? It is mine. I thought they were going to take it back too. It is mine, which is very cool. So I got to get a display case or something to put it up there with my old. But what you would be surprised, these are totally not real stones. and it does rust over time. So it's not as nice as you think it might be. Do you have a question, Brittany?
Yeah, what made you become Miss Connecticut?
Well, I got involved on a whim, but I actually ended up winning against, there was 17 other girls who competed, and a panel of 9 judges decided that I would be able to do this. So people always say different day, different judges, different outcome, and I think that's totally true. So I guess the stars aligned for me that day, and they selected me. So that's how you win, which was pretty cool. Who doesn't love that feeling, right? Great question, though. How about we pivot to this diversity exercise, because this is like my favorite thing to do with people. So if you all wouldn't mind playing along with me for a second, one of the parts of diversity that I love to talk about is unconscious bias. So some of you might know about this. And if you do, maybe drop a note in the chat that you've heard about it before. Unconscious bias is the thought process of, when somebody sees something or is surrounded by something, they automatically make an assumption about somebody or something. For example, let's say you have orange juice. You might think that orange juice is only for drinking, but that same orange juice could be used for a lot of different things. You could use it if you had a tight screw or something, maybe it could loosen it up. If you don't have something to clean a wound, maybe you can use it, right? But we don't think like that, right? We immediately associate the orange juice with drinking it. And that's because our brains learned, okay, orange juice, drinking. Or your brain learned the color yellow is the color yellow, right? So over time, we develop these behaviors and we start to learn them, and then we start to associate them with things. So I'm Indian, right? When somebody sees me, a lot of times people think she can't speak English. I'm not from America, right? But I am from America and I can speak English. So that's just one example of unconscious bias. So I want to do a quick test with you about if you can identify some other things with unconscious bias. So here's a coin. Can somebody come off mute and tell me what this is used for?
To
What do
go
you
shopping.
I'm right. A scratch off ticket.
Okay, that's good.
Or you can use that for, like, say, for washing clothes or
Yeah.
so.
Paying for groceries.
Right,
Mm.
right.
Sense.
Currency, right?
Or
Mhm.
video games.
Yes, perfect. I see one person with a hand up. John, you
I
want
have a phone call.
yes, perfect.
Mhm.
Yes, literally, right?
Yeah.
All
Or,
right.
or
So
there is also like, would you have a piggy bank, like saving money, like
yes,
so like if you have a lot of money, take it to the bank.
right. Exactly. You guys are awesome. And you know what's so funny about this is I have done this same exercise with a lot of different groups, and I never get so many interesting answers. So that in itself tells me you guys know what's up when it comes to unconscious bias. But you guys gave some really awesome examples: scratching off lotto tickets, spending it on a phone call, buying groceries, saving it in a piggy bank. You might not have thought about how it could be used as a musical instrument. You can use it as a guitar pick. You could use it if you could flip it and make different games out of it. You can use it in so many different ways, right? You guys listed how many different ways. So that's an example of overcoming unconscious bias. Rather than just going to that first thought of, okay, I can spend something with this, but thinking, oh, I could also scratch this ticket with it. I could also spend it on this. I could also use it in this way. That's overcoming your brain telling you this is what this is. So you guys are all already unconscious bias superstars.
I never
But-
thought of a guitar pick. I
Right.
really didn't. Yeah.
Right, but it kind of opens your mind
Yeah.
to so many different
Yeah.
things, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Another great example of unconscious bias, that a lot of people like to use is, has anybody seen the Titanic by any chance?
Yes.
Yes.
About it, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So when you see that iceberg, you see the top half of the iceberg and the other half is submerged underwater, right? That in itself is
Yes,
kind
they
of
do.
a depiction of unconscious bias, right? The top half is what you see and what you think of, but there's a whole bottom half that nobody's getting to see. Nobody gets to, people can't make judgments on that bottom half, right? But at the same time, a lot of people say that when they saw the iceberg, instead of throwing themselves into the water, they could have climbed the iceberg. Could they have? Could they not have? Who knows? But the point is that thinking of, well, could this have happened? Could that have happened? And thinking outside the box, that's really what it means to overcome unconscious bias. So, take that with a grain of salt. Think about it if the Titanic makes any more sense to you now. But I just want you to think about that as you go into your own lives and you have your own networks of people and people speak with you every day. At what point are people around you falling into unconscious bias, and at what times are you falling into it? And how do you overcome it and teach the people around you to overcome it as well? I think that's a really special tip. And this has been the most fun thing to do when I walk around at any of these events.
Talking about the Titanic, like what you were saying, like maybe like maybe like avoid the iceberg, like give the ship like they could go sideways rather than a full collision,
right.
So that they can get to New York safely. That way,
That's a great point.
Going like that.
There are so many different things, and you can think about that. That's a great point. That's just the Titanic, though. Think about how many other things, whether it's history or movies or things you're around where, you see something and you think something, instead of challenging that thought and thinking outside the box. And that's cognitive bias. Unconscious bias is another term for it. So when you see people, you might do the same thing and not even realize you're doing it. You know what I mean? So it's a good practice to kind of check yourself and see. And I certainly do this a lot myself. I fall into that pitfall all the time. I'm still figuring it out too. So together, I think all of you, for example, you're all big leaders in the Special Olympics world. So I hope that you can inspire somebody else to think outside the box too. But I can't believe how many times I've done this exercise and you guys are the only group who could think outside of the box on your own. That is really, really cool. I think we can do some Q&A if you guys want. I know we've kind of been doing them throughout, but I'm happy to keep talking at you guys too, but I feel like we should.
Anybody have any
switch it up.
questions? You want to raise your hand or type it in the chat for Sapna? I see Jake. Jake has his hand up. Go ahead, Jake. I think you got to take yourself off mute there, my friend. Jake Sagla? Yep, just unmute yourself. Just click your microphone there, Jake. There you go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
When did you become Miss America, and how did you know that you were going to do it, and when did you start it? What year, though?
Yeah, I wish I was Miss America. Unfortunately, I did not win Miss America, but I got into Miss Connecticut in 2015 and then took a little break and got back into it in 2021. And there was one other part of your question. What was it like? Oh, it was crazy. It was such an experience. I remember seeing the crowd like erupt when they called out my name. I remember hugging my parents when they came on stage. I mean, it was such a special moment. And the best part of it was, like I mentioned, when I was a teen, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what this was. I really just ended up there. So when I won as a Miss last year, it was like, wow, I proved that to myself. It was just such a special time for myself. So yeah, that's definitely what it was like. It's hard to put into words, but that was a great question. Aaron, I see a question from you. Do you want to come off mute?
I have maybe a few questions for you. I understand that you had that shoe up and everything else. So
Yeah.
You ever thought of us doing your own shoe collection since you're Miss
Yeah.
America and everything else?
I did think about it. I'm a big shoe person, which I think you might be also.
But then I think I know you said that it was hard for you to fit in the right dresses and
Yeah.
knowing exactly what the right colors that you want to impress
Right.
people, to show them exactly. And I know that because I was gonna say this, like now if you had your own empire, would you have your own house, your own cars, your lots of money, your friends, have a yacht and all that stuff? Would that be great for you to be Miss America and say, hey, I'm top of the world?
Yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool. I will say that. What is it really interesting is, so first thing on the shoes, after designing those shoes, I have so much respect for people who can do like arts and crafts and all that type of work. I am not that girl. I tried several hours with hot glue guns and pipe cleaners and all these different materials, and it was so bad. We had to phone a friend and ask for some help. So that I have a lot of respect. I don't know if I could ever design my own shoes, but what is cool is actually our Miss America, who is, I mean, she may not have a yacht and she doesn't have her own house, any of that. What is really awesome is the Miss America program actually gives us scholarships for college. So I won $15,000 for my education, which is really awesome. And she actually won $100,000. So she's going to get her med school loans all paid off, which I think is pretty cool. But she did not get a yacht or anything else. The role at each level is the exact same. You get to promote your platform. You get to go to all these events. So
the other thing you should have did, if you want to be real classy, you should have went to Foot Locker and got yourself like a set of Timberland boots though, and made the sucker as a heel. Made the sucker as a heel, and at least you can come up with your own design with pearls around it and everything else. So, and then have your own dress, make that as pearls too. So when you have your crown, you can have your crown light up around you
for sure
on top. And then like when people can see you, they can say, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But then also I was also saying, like, everybody else on this global messenger, every woman on this thing that we're doing right now, between Debbie Horn, all the rest of the other girls, though, they should get their own crown. So at least they can make their own crown.
And they deserve
and have a ball, though.
Yes.
I think every woman should be a Miss Connecticut or Miss Connecticut Special Olympics person.
I agree. That's an awesome thought. Maybe I'll work with Debbie to make that happen. We'll see.
But I'm surprised they have Miss Connecticut, but then I'm surprised they don't have a men's Miss Connecticut.
A lot of people
that's just like the weirdest thing.
I know. A lot of people ask that. My dad certainly had questions about it, but unfortunately it does not exist yet. So maybe, Aaron, you are the guy to make that happen.
Well, maybe I should just have a tassel and a crown and everything else and walk around. Now I don't dress or anything else, so maybe like look good in like one of those red Special Olympics suits on and everything else.
Yeah.
With the logo and everything else.
Those are nice.
Nothing lit up or anything else. So at least come in and say a few things and everything else. So at least you just look good.
That's a great point. Thank you so much, Aaron, for asking your questions. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Ryan, maybe, and then Albert. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm doing good.
Good. I'm glad you are.
Yes, my question to you is, it's anniversary. My question is, I'm dedicated for two things: university and inclusion, and diversity too. My question is, how big is diversity now than it changed from back in 1968 to where we are in 2022?
It has changed a lot. I mean, I think that is a great point too. It's even in your question, you're making a great point. Diversity has changed so much. I mean, even in the past few years, people are ready to listen to that topic and ready to talk about that topic more so than ever before. When I was the teen in 2015, I had the same platform. People were so taken aback when I would talk about diversity. They thought, you know, what is she talking about? This is not a problem. This is not an issue. And then this past year, when I promoted the same exact platform in the same exact way, people's eyes were open. They were ready to ask me questions about it and find out tips for themselves. I think it's changed a lot. And I think Special Olympics has changed a lot as well in that amount of time. And really talking about what inclusion is and how we can be more inclusive as a people. So I think that's awesome. And that was a really great question. I'm not sure if I answered it to the best way that I could have, but I mean, I think diversity continues to change every day.
Yes, and the last thing I want to say is, I do love, my role models are both my parents. I do have some from Special Olympics. Some are
Yes.
like Paula Doherty, Debbie Horn, and oh yes, my favorite one, Renee Janino and Paula Doherty.
Oh, that's
Mark
awesome.
Mercante.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think everybody's role model definitely has their parents in there. And I think I gotta throw Debbie into my group of role models too, because I'm hearing this from all of you guys. Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Albert, did you have a question?
Oh, Dan does.
What,
Okay, go to Dan. Next.
what are you planning to do when your reign is over as Miss Connecticut for Special Olympics?
Well, my reign is over for Miss Connecticut, so I'm very glad to be back in the real world. But what am I going to do for Special Olympics? Well,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that we finally got to meet today. So I think this is the start of a long relationship with Special Olympics. Something else I hope that inspires some of you all is, you know, I got this crown and I thought that this is what I needed to promote what I'm talking about, to talk about diversity, to make an impact, to be a leader. I thought this is what I needed, but I don't have that anymore, right? I can't wear this anymore, and I can still make an impact. I think that that's so special and so important, is that you don't need to win something or have a title or have the credentials to advocate for something that you believe in. So I certainly believe in the Special Olympics, and we'll see, I guess, where things go from here. But great question, and a good amount of pressure to make me continue working with you guys.
Good job, Albert. Good job.
Albert.
All right, I don't know if Dan's there. His hand is up like Natasha was saying, but I don't see him right now. So maybe we can come back to him. Was there somebody else that had a question that hasn't gotten a chance to ask one yet, perhaps? Oh, Stanley. Go ahead, Stanley. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Just hit that little microphone in the corner of your screen there so we can hear you. There you go. Go ahead, Stanley. Yep, we can hear you.
You became a
Go ahead. Go ahead, Stanley.
How do you get the crown from the Connecticut Special Olympics?
Was your question how I got involved with the Connecticut Special Olympics?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, I actually. Oh, I'm sorry.
Very
Well, let me go ahead and answer it. It's actually a very funny way. Debbie saw some of my social media posts when I was Miss Connecticut and wrote me a message. And I'm so glad she did because I was so interested, but I never got a chance to work with Special Olympics through my year. So we've been in touch for a while now. And I watched some of Heidi's training with you guys last week and heard her talking about Debbie's persistence there too. So Debbie really kills it when she has to get someone for her training. And I'm really glad we were able to stay in touch and make this happen. So that's how I got involved. But I have volunteered in the past and I really did love some of the programs that you all do. We actually had the chance this year because our Miss America promotes Special Olympics. She's actually originally Miss Alaska. So we got to all travel to Anchorage, Alaska and be a part of the Special Olympics events there, which was so cool as well. You guys have a huge network. So hopefully I can keep volunteering and being a part of it as time goes on. But that was a great question. I hope I answered it for you.
Thank you, Stanley. I think Dan's back. Shall we hop over and hear what his question is? Go ahead, Dan.
Yes, I got two questions.
Okay.
When you say Titanic, when since I was in school, I know all about Titanic. It's a history.
Yes.
Titanic is a floating palace, like 1912. A Night to Remember. I love that movie very much. And there's a beautiful song of the Canadian song. It's her, Caroline Diane, for the love of the theme song.
Okay.
Of the Titanic. But I do know all about Titanic.
Right, that's awesome.
On the crew members of the cruise nest, they saw an iceberg straight ahead and a Titanic straight through an iceberg, and they said iceberg straight ahead, and they did. It hit in the hull of the Titanic. Titanic was built, it's in Belfast, Ireland.
I didn't even know that. That's really cool.
Yes, because I know all about it.
That's awesome. Well, I wish I had known that you knew all about it. I could have asked you for help before I went to Miss America and talked about the Titanic. That would have been awesome.
Yes, I really love that movie.
Yeah. Well, I hope next time you see an iceberg, maybe you think about unconscious bias. But yeah.
And Kate Winslet and Neil DiCaprio.
Yeah.
It's a good common movie.
Yes, I agree.
And two, how long to be a Miss America? How long?
You get to be your title for one calendar year, like one full year.
Okay.
And then it's done. So it's a very short-lived experience. Gotta enjoy every single moment.
And there was a lady called Unsinkable Molly Brown. And she's in Titanic.
Okay. I gotta check her out.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Daniel. That was very informative.
My heart will go on. It's a theme song.
Yes, I know that one. That's a good one.
Me too. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
John Taggart, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Taggart.
Sure. Yeah, what is your message for future Miss Connect?
What's my message?
Yeah, for future Miss Connect.
So this is really fun that you asked this question. I wish I had the book to show you, but when you finish your year of being Miss Connecticut, one of the most special things is you get to write a letter to whoever the next girl is. So we have a book of letters from the 90s till now, from every single Miss Connecticut to the next one. So I went down to write this letter. I sat down, picked up a pen, and I didn't even know where to begin. There is so much to share with that next girl, but I think what I just mentioned of enjoying every moment, it really is only 1 year. And especially now, I think we all agree, I'm sure you agree too, after the pandemic, you really got to enjoy every minute you have with the people around you. So being Miss Connecticut, you get to meet all these people, but you meet a new person every other day. So it's really important to connect with those people and remember it. So I took pictures everywhere I went so that I could show you pictures like I did today. So one day, 40 years from now, I'll look at those pictures and remember some of the experiences I had. So that's definitely the message I'd like to pass on to her. Enjoy every second.
Good advice. Anybody else have a question for Sapna?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead, Ray.
When you first started, how nervous were you?
So nervous. Oh my gosh, so nervous. So I was really nervous when I was a teen. I think probably because I was also 16. So like had never stood in front of an audience, had never like experienced anything like that. That was really scary. But when I competed as a Miss, I actually wasn't nervous. I was super calm, which felt really weird. But when I went to Miss America, those nerves came back. Oh my God. I remember my knees shaking when I was on stage. Like I'd go up to the microphone and my knees would be shaking. It is definitely nerve-wracking, but overcoming those nerves, I think somebody told me once to turn nervous energy into excited energy, to let it fuel you. I think that's a really good tip. I try that, but I get the sweaty palms and the nerves like everybody else for sure. Thank you for the question. That was awesome.
Is there anybody else with any questions? I know that we don't have too much time left. This is like the fastest hour ever. It's like
I know. I actually just looked at the
5:07.
time. I know. I can't believe it's almost 7.
I can barely believe it either. And we have such a great crowd, and your presentation was amazing. I mean, I think it's really helped us think about, what we assume, our assumptions, and, what we think about things, and kind of thinking out of the box really inspired us, and really inspired us to kind of go for our dream, right? And just believe in yourself, and look what you can accomplish, and look at all that Sapna's accomplished. And I love her message that you don't even need a crown to influence other people and really make an impact. I think that's a beautiful message that she shared with us this evening. Brian, is that your hand up?
Yes, this is my last question.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to see you at the Dream Ride.
Yes. I hope I can go. I know it was down for COVID, so I really hope it happens again. It was so much fun. I loved that.
Okay, thank you.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, enjoy life.
Okay.
Oh, and Jake's got another question. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Jake. Go ahead. There you go.
I will hope that you come to the skiing event, the swimming event, the softball skills, the volleyball team, and the basketball team.
I will definitely try my best. If you saw me ski, I don't think you would ask me to be on your skiing team, let me tell you, but I'll give it a good old try if I can.
We're going to fill up your calendar.
I know.
For sure.
No, but it sounds like fun. I'll totally try my best.
That's awesome. Really great. Did I miss anybody, or did I get everybody's questions? Just want to make sure before we wrap up.
Oh, Deb, I had gave you a message to you.
Yeah, I think Natasha wanted to be in touch. She wanted to share something with you. So
Of course.
I can connect her with you after the meeting. We can do that.
That would
and
be
I think
awesome.
John just popped up a question here.
Yeah, a little one.
Go ahead, John. Do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Nah, come on. Nah.
No, you want me to ask it for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What gave you the idea to become Miss Connecticut at that young age is John's question.
Yeah. So somebody actually mentioned it to me when I was in high school and said, this is funny. actually said there's no Indian girls in pageants. Why don't you give this a try? So that was how I found out about it. But the young age part of your question is really interesting and definitely something that I got the chance to talk about with a senior citizens home last year, which was really special because, you know, they think about the next generation all the time. And they asked me, would I tell my kids to do pageants or not? And, you know, at such a young age, it really did make a big difference in my life. I think it was for the better. You know, I get to talk about all these things. I really feel like I know myself, but at the same time, would I have experienced the same things in a different way in my life? I don't know. So that's a good question. But being at that young age was very formative, and I learned a lot about my voice and the people around me, and things like bias and imposter syndrome and all these other topics and diversity and inclusion a lot earlier than I think I would have otherwise. So
I mean, you did a great job. You took excellent pictures and everything. I looked,
thanks.
you know, very, very nice. I got on the dean's list when I was in college for artwork. So, you
that's
know,
awesome.
and I go, wow, this is me. Holy cow, I made it on the dean's list for artwork, you know, so it was awesome. So if
That
I
is
could do it and you could do it, anybody could do it, you know?
Yes, I agree. And you don't need anybody to tell you how to
No.
do it or how to make it happen. You
No,
can make it
no,
happen yourself. Right.
definitely.
Exactly.
And also, when I was in high school, even though it took me 8 years to graduate, but I made high honors 8 years in a row.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thanks.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You should celebrate that.
It was the 19th. It's been 14 years since I've been out of high school.
Wow. I hope you've been celebrating every year that high honors. It's a big thing.
Yes.
Good.
I see
Quick
Kimberly
question,
asked.
though.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna let her go ahead and finish though. Go ahead.
I just saw Kimberly had a question in the chat. Do you want me to go ahead and ask that, Kimberly?
Sure.
It says, if there is a Miss Connecticut reunion with other Miss winners, would you attend it?
Yes. Every year, actually, before the competition, we have a reunion. And it's so fun. I actually even get messages sometimes from Miss Connecticut. I just got one from 1974, or like random messages and random contacts. And it's so cool that it's a network of so many different people from so many different years. And each of us had more or less the same experience. So that's also really special. I would totally attend it. Would love to meet those women. A lot of wisdom there. Just like in this room, there's a lot of wisdom for me to learn from. Definitely a lot of wisdom from them as well.
Nice.
Quick question though. What is your nationality though? Are you African American? Are you Indian? Or
I'm Indian. I'm Indian American. Yep. I was born in Hartford. My parents both came from India. They immigrated here in 1990 or so. So it's been a while. So yeah, I was raised in Ellington, Connecticut, and I'm still living here. So yeah.
Well, that's good. At least you know exactly you're in a good spot though. At least you're not in, like say in LA, because LA is even worse.
Yes.
Tell you.
So I guess because like I am from like hometown England. That's where I was raised. So for you have a nationality, but in India. So that means it might be your mom's side or your father's side based on your heritage, right?
Yeah. Both of my parents are from there. So everybody in my family, we're first generation Americans, my brother and myself. So it's cool. Definitely an interesting way to live. Yeah.
That's one big family.
Yeah.
But I tell you one thing, you guys make some good Indian food though. Let me tell you.
Yes, I'm a big fan. I have my mom upstairs making it right now. She just sent me a text, so I'm excited to go eat some of that.
Yeah, cool.
There you go.
So it's 7 o'clock. I think we should all go over to Sapna's for dinner.
Yes, come here. And we'll have cake for Kimberly's high honors. We gotta
There
celebrate.
you go. Well, if we can't make it tonight, maybe another night, right?
Yes.
This has been so wonderful. I really enjoyed this session. I know you all have too. Let's give, Chase is just joining us. He's just we'll get on and say hello. I know somebody had some other things. Everybody say hi to Chase. Woo!
Hey, Chase, what's up,
Hey,
man?
we're just wrapping up, but it's so nice to see you. We have to let Sapna go, but I did record the session, so I'm going to share it with everybody who couldn't be on the call. I know there were a couple people who had to work and all, but I want to be respectful of Sapna's time and all of your time. We do keep it to an hour. But yeah, we hope to see Sapna at our events coming up. We'll keep in touch with her. This has been such a joy. Thank you all for participating, and a big thanks to Sapna. Let's give her a big round of applause. A lot of love.
Thanks, everybody. I had so much fun with you guys. I'm gonna find a way to meet up with you all again sometime soon. So,
I hope to see you at Dream Ride.
yes, I'll see you there.
Actually, I know we're supposed to be meeting up, like, say, I think somewhere in September though.
October 1st, we have an in-person meeting. So if you'd like to join us then, we'll send you an invite. Yeah, that'd be nice. Great idea. Excellent. We'll keep her in the loop. Great idea, Erin. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful night. We'll be in touch again soon.
Yeah.
Erin,
Bye.
Erin.
Bye.
How about the